phone for me. And I'm going to read. I'm trying to take my mind off Kitty, so I thought I would read a fairy tale from Wales, which is very far away from the kitty. But I still think I'm going to like him. Anyway, I don't have my glasses on, so bear with me. I know I'm a young mouse, but sometimes I got to wear my spectacles. Okay, it's called, also, excuse me if I don't pronounce everything properly. I'm trying my best, darn it. Guto, Bach, and the Fairies. Kind of also in a little giggly mood, so don't mind me. But I know you don't. Gruffid was the name given at baptism to a little boy who once lived at Langeby. But everyone called him Guto Bach. One day, after he had been up to the mountain to see his father's sheep, he brought home a number of pieces the size of crowns, with letters stamped on them and resembling real crown pieces exactly, only that they were made of white paper instead of silver. His mother asked him where he had got them. I played with some little children on the mountain, said little Guto, and they gave them to me. Whose children? Asked the mother. I don't know, he replied. They are very nice children, much nicer than I am. Well, at least he's honest. But his mother knew they were fairies, and told him he must never go on the mountain again by himself, because no good ever came of playing with strange children. That is very good advice. Strange kitties, too. But Guto was longing to have another game with the little children. One day, he disobeyed his mother and slipped away to the mountain. He did not come back. Oh, he did not come back ever? Oh my. He did not come back. And though every search was made for him, I lost my place. Oh, sorry. No trace of Guto Bach could be found anywhere. 2 years after, however, need a big jump in time here. 2 years after, however, what should his mother see on opening the door in the morning but little Guto sitting on the threshold with a bundle under his arm? Uh-oh, it's a fairy bundle. He was the very same size and dressed in the same little clothes as on the day of his disappearance, and he did not look a day older. Sounds like witchcraft to me. My child, said the astonished and delighted mother. Where have you been this long, long while? Mother, said Guto, I have not been long away. It was only yesterday that I went to play with the little children. Look what pretty clothes they have given me. I thought he was wearing the same clothes. The mother opened the bundle. It contained a dress of very white paper without seam or sewing. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to wear paper clothes. Mommy should knit me some clothes, but she's too lazy. Paper without seam or sewing. As it had been given to him by the fairies, she burnt it, and Guto's long disappearance made her more sure that no good could come of playing with strange children. I think the moral of the story is going to be, don't play with strange children. What do you guys think? But she was wrong all the same. Guto Bach's friendship with the little children, as he still thought they were, proved to be very advantageous. Shortly after his reappearance, his father and mother suffered a very great loss. This is going to be a sad story. They had invested all their savings and all the money they could raise in a ship sailing from I don't know, which had been making very profitable voyages and bringing great wealth to those who had shares in her. Boats are girls, in case you didn't know. Like my canoe is a girl. Her name is Gwenna. The vessel went down in a storm, and ruin stared Guto's parents in the face. Now there on Pentwick, the hill above Langeby, a great rock under which there was said to be a great treasure of gold hidden. Many men had tried to move the rock, but had failed miserably. Whoops, I'm adding words here. Or have failed, because they were undeserving. Guto's father determined to make another effort to dislodge the stone, in the hope that the treasure underneath it would recoup his losses. His neighbors sympathized with him and brought all the horses of the parish to help him. But the rock was so heavy and fixed so fast in the ground that the combined efforts of all the men and horses of Langeby were unavailing. Guto's father's hopes had been high whenever the others might have been who had... I gotta start this sentence over. Guto's father's hopes had been high, whatever the others might have been who had attempted to reach the treasure he at last, he thought, was deserving. The disappointment, therefore, was all the harder to bear. Seeing his parents' grief, Guto remembered that the little children with whom he had played had plenty of gold and silver, and he made up his mind to ask them to help his father and mother in their distress. You hold on a minute, I'll turn the light on. Oh, it keeps getting darker. It keeps getting darker. Well, I can't reach the light. I got little mouse arms. Now, where was I? He went again to the mountain and found the little children playing as before. He told them his trouble and asked them whether they could spare him some of their money. No, they said. There's plenty of gold and silver waiting for you under the rock on Pentwick. Welsh words, not easy. But, she remonstrated, little Guto, he would not budge for all the men and horses of Langeby. We are aware of that, said the little children. But do you try to move it? Do you try to move it and see what will happen? Guto went home and told his parents what the little children... Turn page, Mama. Don't turn page. Oh, it's a very short story. What the little children had said to him. They laughed at the idea that little Guto would succeed where the full strength of Langeby parish had failed. But they were in such a desperate plight that they allowed Guto, I don't want you to see the bottom, well, I guess you got to do as the fairies had directed. They took him to the rock. He put his little hand on it, and the great mass trembled. He gave it a shove, and the huge stone crashed down the hill. Underneath it, there was found enough gold and silver not only to replace all their losses, but to make Guto and his parents the richest people in Carnarvonshire. Carnarvonshire. They are meat eaters. Wait, what does that say? Carnarvonshire. Well, I wonder if I will ever go to Wales someday. So that was a story from the Welsh Fairy Book. Got a pretty cover. It got a horsey and a lady or a guy, I can't really tell, and a bird. And some guys in a tree too. I don't see any mousies, but I guess it's okay. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the story, silly whites. The moral of the story, if you would like to discuss what you think the story means, because fairy tales have all kinds of lessons they try to teach you. I think, well, it turned out good, and he did play with strange children, and it had a happy ending. So maybe the moral of the story is, if you want to make friends, you got to talk to strange children. I don't know if I'm giving you bad life advice here, but that's what it seems to mean to me. Okay, well, it took my mind off the kitty for a little while, and I hope it did too, because mice are very important. I go say bye-bye now. Bye, everybody. Aloha. End it, Mommy. Press the button.